Okay, we are diving into a really high-stakes cultural balancing act today.
We really are.
Our mission is to take you on a deep dive into what is, I think, a magnificent paradox. We're talking about the holiday season in Playa del Carmen and, well, the entire Riviera Maya.
It's the absolute definition of a tropical conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah.
You have all the weight of these ancient festive traditions, the Christmas, New Year's, but you're experiencing winter at a solid 28 degrees Celsius.
Exactly. A Christmas celebrated entirely in flip-flops.
That's the one.
And we've pulled together sources from local experts, tourism officials, and even property developers to really get a handle on what this experience is like on the ground. The fundamental tension here, I think, is the timing. This isn't just a festive period. It coincides exactly with the destination's absolute peak high season.
Right. Our sources call it the magnificent combo. And that combination has, staggeringly high stakes. It touches everyone from the tourist who's just there for a week to the local business owner, and maybe most critically, the real estate investor. Those specific weeks are just crucial for revenue.
High stakes is right. It means the usual holiday rush is, supercharged by this peak global tourism demand. It transforms the city from this vibrant beach town into, well, an operational machine that's handling near-capacity crowds.
And that's really our starting point. We have to establish that Playa del Carmen and the Riviera Maya are a prime holiday destination globally. But what's fascinating, really, is the sheer level of organized preparation. The sources, they just keep emphasizing that there is absolutely no improvisation.
Not at all.
The city, the hotels, they plan for months. Events, venues, staffing. It's this huge orchestrated effort to handle the maximum possible number of people.
Which is just astounding when you remember how young this destination is. Playa del Carmen went from a tiny fishing village to a global metropolis in, a few decades.
Exactly. And the pressure of that growth has to be intense.
It's not just growing, it's evolving.
Precisely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the whole urban identity has been shifting. Just in the last 3 to 4 years, it's moved away from being seen as, just a backpacker or party town.
Right.
It's evolving into something much more sophisticated, much more family-friendly and inclusive. And this evolution, it directly shapes the kind of tourist who's showing up during these critical peak months.
Okay, so let's start with the atmosphere, the vibe, because the visual shift, that's got to be key to understanding the holiday feel. If you've been to Playa, you know Fifth Avenue is the commercial and culinary backbone of the city. What actually happens to that space in December?
It's an intentional, really dramatic aesthetic shift. Fifth Avenue, which is normally this dense mix of restaurants, shops, bars, it becomes completely draped in Christmas lights and decorations.
So it's not subtle.
Not at all. It creates what the sources call a very pretty ambiance. It's almost like a European-style promenade, but, with the heat.
28 degrees.
Right. And this isn't just some passive decoration. It's an active, concerted effort to manufacture a festive mood.
And here's where it gets, I think, really interesting. The sociological shift, particularly for the residents. You're comparing a traditional, very intimate Mexican Christmas with the reality of this highly transient international city.
Yes, and the sources note that in a place like Mexico City, for example, Christmas is a deep, very traditional, and strictly home-based family affair.
So that raises a huge question. What happens to that tradition when you transplant it to a place like Playa, a place where a huge chunk of the population is made up of expatriates or internal migrants who are basically alone or with very little family?
They're geographically detached from their family unit.
So what do?
They adopt each other. It's fascinating. They build what our sources describe as a found family.
A found family. I like that.
They spend the holidays together, and they compensate for that physical distance by creating this new, really strong family-oriented atmosphere right there in the community.
It's like watching new traditions being forged in real time.
It's a remarkable social adaptation, really. Instead of one single intimate family dinner, you get block parties, you get these big communal celebrations. And this focus on community, it isn't just heartwarming. It ties directly back to that strategic citywide effort to be more inclusive.
Right.
The preparation goes way beyond just decorations. It explicitly targets something called architectural accessibility.
That's a fascinating term. We hear architectural accessibility as the modern, inclusive way to talk about what we used to call, accommodations for disabilities. But what does that actually look like on the ground during the holiday rush?
It means real, tangible infrastructure adjustments.
Hmm.
So ensuring that all those elaborate Fifth Avenue decorations don't block or create hazards on ADA-compliant routes.
Right, for wheelchairs or strollers.
Exactly. It might mean deploying temporary ramps or even specialized beach wheelchairs. The goal is to make the whole environment, which is already packed, genuinely fun for everyone, especially those families trying to navigate with strollers and small kids.
That level of planning for inclusivity, it seems like a sharp contrast with holiday norms in other parts of Latin America.
Oh, absolutely. Think about Argentina, for instance.
Yeah.
The sources mentioned it specifically. Holidays there are intensely family-oriented, celebrated at home, but people generally are not used to going on vacation for Christmas.
The holiday is the act of going home.
Precisely. It's about returning to the homestead.
But in Playa, the traveler's explicit purpose is often to spend Christmas and New Year's there. They're merging the holiday with the vacation.
That's the critical difference, and it has major logistical consequences. Since the tourism product is actively marketed as a Christmas experience, the city and the hotels, they have to prepare these dedicated non-traditional experiences.
So they need things that a traditional holiday at home wouldn't.
Right. They need organized games, specialized events, designated spaces just for families and kids.
So it's not just one home hosting a dinner, the whole public sphere has to take over.
Yes, the whole city is decorated, as the sources say. They're consciously working to pass on that festive magic.
The city itself becomes the collective venue, the host.
Exactly. And you see specific examples of this. Santa Claus characters appearing not just in the big international malls, but really engaging with the public. They host these big tree lighting events, often with local schools. Families gather, there's a show, and they feature typical Mexican holiday food.
So it's strategically mixing that high-level tourism appeal with these really heartfelt community events.
It is. It ensures that people who brought their families or moved their families there can still feel rooted in that holiday magic.
It's such a delicate balance, isn't it? Managing a fully operational, high-volume tourist destination while layering on this surprisingly genuine, community-based holiday spirit. And this intense level of organization, it leads us directly to the features that really signal the city's commitment. I mean, we have to talk about the most visually and logistically jarring feature for a tropical location, the ice rinks.
It's a total statement piece, isn't it? An ice rink right next to the Caribbean Sea.
It's wild.
It is the clearest, most undeniable physical proof of the destination preparing for high-season tourism. They're trying to meet every single demographic's expectation of a winter holiday, no matter what the local climate is doing.
And what's amazing is the scale. This isn't just some small token rink in a corner. The sources detail multiple operational locations across the Riviera Maya.
That's right.
You've got the central one in the municipal park at the 28th of July Square. That's where they do the big tree lighting ceremony.
That central location is all about maximizing visibility and community access. It works as a novelty for tourists, but it's also a specific point of pride for locals who, rarely ever see ice.
And then there's a second permanent one in the new outlet mall.
The one they describe as the biggest in Latin America.
And a third one up the coast in Cancun.
So 3 operational ice rinks, all running at the same time in a subtropical climate.
It's a logistical marvel. Let's unpack that.
We have to.
I'm just marveling at the physics of it. The immense, continuous effort to maintain that ice, that cold environment. It's not for a few hours. It's for weeks on end, battling high humidity and 28-degree days. What are the actual infrastructural demands this puts on the city?
It just confirms the financial commitment behind that no improvisation mantra.
Yeah.
We're talking about massive temporary energy requirements. These aren't just little chillers.
No.
They're industrial-grade refrigeration plants. They have specialized insulating mats laid over huge areas of concrete. The operational cost of the power alone must be staggering.
So the city must specifically budget for this.
Oh, they do. They permit it and budget for it because the increased tourist traffic and the positive media attention during high season justify the investment. It's a signal to international visitors. It says, we can deliver any experience you expect, regardless of the climate.
And this all happens because Christmas is high season and the destination has to prepare for everyone. Families, singles, luxury travelers. Okay, let's pivot a little. Let's talk about the nightlife dynamic for the non-family demographic looking for that high season buzz.
Right, because tourism's booming, that whole dynamic shifts into high gear immediately. The nightlife starts earlier than usual. Tourists want to maximize their vacation time. But for New Year's Eve, the city goes through a a controlled transformation.
A transformation. Tell us about that. What logistical changes make these huge street parties possible?
Well, the side streets, the ones leading off of Fifth Avenue, they are strategically closed off to all vehicle traffic. This usually starts in the late afternoon. And it's a crucial change governed by specific temporary permits.
And that allows the restaurants and bars to just expand.
Exponentially. They increase their footprint, putting tables, temporary bars, even dance floors right out into the street. The sources describe the result as a literal sea of people, tens of thousands of people moving through and celebrating in what is normally a series of sidewalks.
That sounds incredibly vibrant, but also potentially a bit overwhelming. What about people looking for something a little less chaotic, or maybe a bit more high-end?
Yeah, for those seeking a cooler atmosphere, or maybe just locals who want to break from the street crush, the recommendation is to head to the rooftops.
The rooftops. Or the beach clubs.
Or the beach clubs, exactly. Those venues offer a much more curated experience. And crucially, they benefit immensely from the perfect weather. Those mild, non-humid 28-degree days extend into the night, making these outdoor spaces just ideal.
And I imagine the high-end venues really pull out all the stops for New Year's Eve.
Oh, absolutely. They book internationally recognized DJs, live bands, and unlike some other destinations that might shut down early, these places are known to run late, often staying open until 5:00 or 6:00 in the morning on New Year's Day.
A full-spectrum experience.
Designed to monetize every last drop of that celebratory high-season energy.
Before we move on from this, we have to highlight the accessible nature of the beach itself. That's a key differentiator for the destination.
Yes, this is a vital, non-commercial detail that visitors often overlook when they're focused on the clubs and restaurants.
All the beaches in Playa are 100% public and free.
It's a huge point of leverage for visitors. If you don't want to pay the premium holiday prices for restaurants or beach clubs, you simply don't have to.
You can just have a Christmas picnic on the sand.
Exactly. Bring your own cooler, your own chairs. It truly democratizes the entire holiday experience. It makes it accessible even to budget-conscious travelers during the most expensive season of the year.
Okay, now we have to step into the heart of authentic Mexican holiday culture. The city does a great job, apparently, organizing markets and events where international visitors can easily try local dishes. It's like a cultural gateway.
It's a necessary outreach, isn't it? Given the massive influx of people who are experiencing these centuries-old traditions for the very first time. The cornerstone of the social calendar in December, though, is the Posada.
The Posadas. These are described as way more than just office parties. They're highly social year-end dinners that escalate into major celebrations with coworkers, neighbors, even sports teams.
It's true. The sources make December sound like a sustained marathon. It's just dinner after dinner and party after party.
So it's not just one night.
No, it's a cumulative celebration that spans the 9 days leading up to Christmas Eve. And the tradition itself is so rich in religious and historical context. The name Posada literally means inn or lodging.
Which comes directly from the biblical story of Mary and Joseph seeking shelter, and that's why the event involves a ritualistic element before the party even starts.
Correct. The core ritual is a procession. The participants split into 2 groups. One group is outside, acting as the pilgrims, Mary and Joseph. The other is inside, acting as the innkeepers.
So they go door to door.
Traditionally, yes, or from one part of the house to another.
Yeah.
And they sing villancicos, which are Christmas songs. The group outside is asking for lodging until they are symbolically welcomed in. Only once that door opens does the main party really begin.
So a traditional posada isn't complete without these specific ritualistic parts.
Precisely. A traditional posada must include that procession with the singing of villancicos. And crucially, a piñata.
Ah, the piñata.
And of course, the specific holiday foods that anchor the whole event.
Let's decode that traditional food. What's being served at these marathon gatherings?
We need to highlight 3 essential dishes that really define the season. You've got brinuelos, which are these sweet fried pastries, often sprinkled with sugar. Tamales, which are, everywhere in Mexico, but they get a special holiday preparation. And then the most distinct one, romeritos.
Romeritos. That sounded particularly unique. It's not something you find year-round.
No, it is 100% Mexican and a real marker of deep tradition. Romeritos is a specific Mexican plant, a type of seepweed. And it's typically prepared with a very complex mole sauce. It also incorporates savory things like dried shrimp cakes.
So it's a complex flavor profile.
Very. And because it requires such labor-intensive, precise preparation, it's often associated with dishes made by very traditional families. It's a strong connection to local heritage that persists, even with all the international influences.
Okay, and the piñata tradition, you said that's essential. It has an interesting evolution, especially concerning safety.
It's definitely evolved.
Mm-hmm.
Traditionally, they were made of clay.
Clay.
Yeah, molded into that iconic seven-point star shape, which symbolizes the seven deadly sins.
That sounds dangerous.
Well, it was a real safety hazard. When you broke it, the clay pieces could fly off and hit someone in the face.
Yikes.
And they were traditionally filled with seasonal fruit. Things like tangerines, guavas, sugar canes, stuff that holds up well to the chaos.
So before modern papier-mâché, you had to dodge flying clay shrapnel just to get a tangerine. That definitely raises the stakes in a party game.
Absolutely. Today, they're mostly paper, which makes them much safer and allows for way more creative designs. And the practice has clearly expanded beyond just kids' parties. The sources note that piñatas are now immensely popular for adults, too. It's a universal, playful tradition.
Okay, let's move to the beverages. The fuel for this party-after-party schedule. We have to do a deep dive into ponche.
Ponche is essential, but its nature really highlights the cultural navigation needed for international visitors. If you come from other Latin American countries, like, say, the Dominican Republic, your idea of ponche is a cold, creamy drink.
Like an eggnog.
Exactly. Made with milk, eggs, and rum. It's like a strong eggnog.
Which is a massive contrast to the Mexican version, which is being consumed in 28-degree heat.
Completely different. Mexican ponche is, in a way, the warm antidote to the cold weather that Mexicans wish they had.
I see.
It's a hot, aromatic, fruit-based drink. It's made primarily with seasonal fruits like guava, tejocote, that's a type of Mexican hawthorn, and dried prunes, sugarcane pieces, cinnamon sticks, sugar. It's served piping hot, with the chunks of stewed fruit right inside the glass. It's almost like a warm, spiced dessert beverage.
And this is where the local adaptation for the high-season party atmosphere comes in. The phrase, every adult traveler needs to know.
Indeed. The base drink is delicious and deeply traditional on its own. But locally, if you want to turn the party up a notch, you ask for ponche con piquete.
Con piquete.
The phrase literally means punch with a sting. And that charming little addition signifies a generous splash of rum or tequila into the hot, fruity drink.
Perfect.
It's a perfect microcosm of how local tradition meets the need for a high-season, high-energy celebration.
The culinary landscape in Playa during the holidays really is a global melting pot then. While you have these deep Mexican traditions like the Posadas and Romeritos, the sheer number of international residents who are the actual hosts means that holiday food is incredibly diverse.
Oh, the international influence on holiday menus is undeniable. The holiday table there is a direct and delicious reflection of the resident demographic. People don't just abandon their traditions. They bring them to this new environment and they share them.
Let's get specific. Let's detail some of these international holiday dishes that have become popular locally, starting with a classic European cold water favorite, bacalhau.
Bacalhau, or salted cod. It's a quintessential Christmas dish across so many cultures. Spain, Portugal, Norway.
And it's often Norwegian cod, right?
Yes, and preparing it is a serious commitment. This dish perfectly illustrates the complexity of trying to maintain traditions so far from home.
Tell us about the preparation. It sounds like it's not something you just whip up for dinner.
No, it requires meticulous foresight. Because the cod is preserved in so much salt, the prep involves this intensive soaking process. You often have to change the water multiple times over a 24, sometimes 48-hour period just to perfectly desalinate the fish. Only once you've done that is it cooked with the traditional elements like tomatoes, olives, capers, and almonds. It's a time-intensive tradition that has been fully adopted there.
And speaking of international communities, the large Argentine presence contributes its own essential dish, vittone.
This is a hallmark of Argentine holiday cuisine. Vittoltone is a cold meat dish, usually thinly sliced veal, and it's served with this truly unique cream-based sauce that's flavored intensely with tuna, mayonnaise, and anchovies.
That sounds like a very unlikely combination.
It sounds it, but it's delicious. And its cold nature is perfectly suited to the South American and Caribbean summer Christmas experience. Given the huge number of Argentinian residents, it's a necessary fixture on many holiday tables and restaurant menus in Playa.
And we absolutely cannot forget the vast Italian influence. The sources explicitly say Italian nationals have deeply rooted themselves in the food scene there.
That's right. The city boasts some of the world's best traditional Italian food, often made by Italian nationals who've brought their specific regional skills and recipes with them. It guarantees a high quality and authenticity. You can easily find a world-class traditional Christmas Eve Italian seafood feast even in the middle of all the holiday craziness.
So you have authentic Italian pasta, Argentine cold beef, Norwegian cod, all coexisting alongside the deeply local cuisine.
And let's bring it back to that local delicacy that really grounds this whole culinary experience, the Mexican anchor, huitlacoche.
Explain that one again. It really highlights the local authenticity.
Huitlacoche is often called corn smut or corn truffle. It's a fungus that grows on ears of corn. While the English description might sound a bit unusual,
A little bit.
it's a very traditional and highly prized Mexican ingredient. It's celebrated for its earthy, smoky flavor. You find it commonly in dishes like quesadillas and soaps.
And the fact that you have this mix.
Exactly. The deeply traditional romeritos and huitlacoche, served right alongside the European bacalao and the South American vitelone, all on the same holiday menu. It just demonstrates the area's extraordinary culinary diversity and its openness.
It's a fantastic way to connect the food directly to the community's fabric. The list of dishes is a list of the nationalities celebrating together.
Precisely. The holiday period truly synthesizes the global nature of Playa del Carmen. You could genuinely find a table where a Mexican family is serving romeritos right next to an Argentine plate of viteltone, and an Italian chef prepare the bacalao. This diversity is the city's unique signature.
We've established this incredible cultural vibrancy, but now we have to ground this conversation in economics. December and January, they're not just about parties and posadas. They are the most important months for investors. This is where all those tourist festivities connect directly to the engine room of the city's economy.
This is the high-stakes moment for the entire economy of the Riviera Maya. It's like the annual performance review for the whole tourism sector. And we need to quantify the demand to really understand the scale we're talking about.
So what are the numbers?
The region gets about 35 million visitors annually. And a truly disproportionate percentage of those arrivals are concentrated specifically in that December-January corridor.
And the sources confirm the market saturation reaches almost impossible levels.
Absolutely. The data shows that hotel and accommodation occupancy rates frequently go over 100%.
Okay, we need to understand that. How do you have over 100% occupancy?
Right. That figure primarily reflects the short-term rental platforms like Airbnb and Hotel Overflow. It means properties that might be a little vacant during the slow season are totally full, and every available couch and spare room, including informal lodging, is being used.
So for an investor, what's the most relevant metric here?
The key metric to analyze is RevPay, revenue per available room. When your occupancy is over 100%, and you combine that with skyrocketing nightly prices, those premium rates we're about to talk about, your RevPay figures for December are exponentially higher than any other month.
It's the gold standard proof of concept for the investment market.
It is. And the air travel data backs this up dramatically. The volume is real.
What does that look like?
The Cancun airport, which serves this whole region, hits records of over 700 daily flights during this specific holiday period.
700 flights a day.
That immense volume of international traffic creates tremendous pressure on the accommodation supply, and it generates enormous revenue for the properties that can handle it.
So what does this level of demand mean for the individual property owner who's renting out their unit?
It means direct and frankly spectacular financial benefit. If you're an investor renting out a property, especially on a short-term platform, you are seeing maximum premium rates. The core economic dynamic is simple, but it's powerful. Demand far exceeds supply.
Which gives the owners incredible pricing power during those key 3 weeks.
Exactly. Owners are able to ask for almost any price for their apartments because the inventory of quality accommodation is so rapidly depleted by that high volume of visitors. High season is a pure seller's market for short-term rentals. It allows owners to recoup a significant percentage of their annual operating costs in just that 1 month.
Let's pivot to those people scouting for investments. If the market is this saturated and profitable, should a new investor wait until low season to shop for property? Do they think they'll get a better deal?
It's actually a fantastic time for new investors to visit. They might come on vacation initially, drawn by the festive atmosphere, but they use that time strategically to scout the area for future investments.
So they see it in action.
They get to see the destination operating at its absolute peak performance. They can assess real demand and rental potential firsthand.
But doesn't that intense demand cause the price of the asset itself, the real estate, to spike?
And this raises the crucial stabilizing point that makes this market unique for property investment. Unlike the service sector and commodities, which do see rapid price increases during high season.
Like those premium rental rates or inflated taxi fares.
Exactly. But real estate acquisition prices or construction materials do not automatically go up just because it is high season.
That is a critical market efficiency. Why does the cost of entry stay stable when the potential yield is so high?
There are a few key factors. First, construction materials are often globally sourced. Their prices are governed by global commodity markets, not local tourism surges. Second, the local labor pool for construction is relatively steady.
Oh.
And third, and maybe most importantly, developers and real estate companies often prefer to close deals and finalize their fiscal year books in December.
So the company's internal financial motive is to finalize sales no matter what's happening with the rental market boom.
Precisely. They are motivated to close out inventory. So an investor might even find better deals during this specific period as development companies finalize their books and push to meet year-end targets.
It allows them to accurately visualize their peak return on investment against a stable acquisition cost.
Yes, the high season is effectively the market's proof of concept. It shows you the maximum stress, the maximum profitability, all while keeping the entry costs steady.
That's the real high-stakes magic combo for the investor.
It is. The demand shows you the potential income, and the stability of the asset price offers predictability on the cost side. It's a very, very attractive proposition.
Okay, let's turn all this deep knowledge into some actionable intelligence for anyone listening who's planning their own tropical holiday dive. The single most important piece of advice we extracted from the sources applies to every single aspect of the trip. Do not improvise.
That phrase has to be taken so seriously. Don't improvise. During high season, the consensus is that everything sells out fast, sometimes months in advance. You absolutely must book your dinner reservations, whether it's for a traditional posada or a high-end New Year's club, your tours, and especially your accommodation, way in advance.
We even have a great financial example of where that advanced planning pays off significantly, especially for families looking at the big theme parks.
Yes, specifically for the major eco-archaeological parks like Xcaret, which are huge draws. The sources note that if you book your tickets for these parks 60 days in advance, you can get up to a 25% discount.
25% is a significant saving.
It is. And it clearly underscores the fact that the destination rewards foresight and it penalizes the last-minute planner.
What about travelers coming solo? Given the emphasis on found family and all these communal events, what are the best strategies for meeting people during this busy period?
Playa is actually very well set up for the solo traveler. Many bars and beach clubs strategically organize ladies' nights or singles meetups, specific social events designed to encourage mingling. The sources also strongly recommend staying in a hostel, even if you're not a traditional budget traveler.
Right.
Hostels often serve as these ready-made social hubs during the holidays. They leverage that communal spirit we talked about earlier to easily connect people.
We also need to talk about mobility, given that sea of people we might encounter on Fifth Avenue and the sheer volume of traffic from the airport.
Mobility requires a strategy. The good news is that most of the central city core is highly walkable, which does alleviate some of the pressure if you stay centrally. And there are generally plenty of taxis available to navigate the longer distances.
Right.
But you have to anticipate surge pricing and longer wait times during peak nights like Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve.
Which leads us directly to the final and most essential piece of advice for safely navigating the festive atmosphere.
The safety message around consumption is paramount, especially during the festive season. The warning from local experts is simple and direct. If you consume alcohol, and given the ubiquity of Ponchacon Piquet and street parties, you probably will do not drive.
It's just not worth it.
Not at all. Using the abundance of taxis and relying on the walkable city isn't just convenient, it's crucial for ensuring you enjoy your holiday and don't spend your holidays in a special room.
That is, detained by local authorities.
Exactly. Prioritize prearranged transport for those big celebration nights.
And a final tip, tying back to our earlier discussion, remember, the beaches are 100% public and free. If all the restaurants are booked or you just want a truly relaxed, natural holiday experience, you have the right to claim a spot on that beautiful sand for your festive picnic.
That freedom is the true luxury.
So what does this all mean? We've completed our extensive deep dive into Christmas in flip-flops. We've seen that Playa del Carmen isn't just a beach destination. It's a dynamic, complex place that orchestrates this unique blend of high-end, high-volume tourism and deeply rooted, organized Mexican and international holiday traditions.
It's a place where the economic engine of high season, the engine that's driving 100% plus occupancy rates and huge rev payar, is also fueling these surprisingly organized and inclusive community celebrations. The sheer organizational effort required to deliver this complex holiday experience is remarkable.
From the ice rinks to the food.
From installing and maintaining tropical ice rinks to successfully catering to the specific culinary demands of Mexican, Argentine, and Italian residents all at the same time.
The city is constantly adapting itself, physically, culturally, and economically, to accommodate this massive, concentrated global audience. It's operating at its absolute peak capacity year after year.
And that's the key takeaway, isn't it? The ongoing tension. So as we finish this deep dive, here's a final thought for you to consider, especially if you're one of those scouting investors. We've seen how Playa adapts its offerings, from creating logistically complex ice rinks to importing Norwegian codal to cater to diverse international expectations.
Right.
Given the consistent success, the soaring demand, and those persistent 100% plus occupancy rates, the question isn't if the city will continue to expand, but how it will manage the subsequent infrastructure.